Hello, everyone. Greg, thank you so much for joining us. We'll start with the first question with Damian Calhoun. Damian, go ahead.
Hey, Greg, how you doing?
Well, Damian, how are you?
Good. I guess we can start with the injury update. Victor Vasquez, Javier, and anybody else that wasn't available the last game.
Victor is back in full, so he'll be available. Javier is in his return to play, so we'll see as he continues to progress how that progression works, and his timeline will be dependent on that. I think everybody else, by and large, is healthy. Jorge has a bit of a bone bruise, so he's kind of day to day. He came out and just had a kind of an awkward step, and I think the knee and the knee area, there was a bone bruise, and so he's again recovering day to day. He was in partial of the training session today, but we haven't pushed him too hard just yet. We'll see how he takes a step forward tomorrow, and we'll go from there.
And this season, it seems to be like maybe after every 2 or 3 weeks, there's a 3-game and 7-day stretch, 3 and 8-day stretch there. As the season progresses, does it get easier to get guys ready for this kind of stretch, or how do you sort of handle these situations when the season as we're here into August and into September?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, it's not a great rhythm because the guys, their bodies, especially with the 13, 14 days that we end up having because of national team duty and international, it's not a great rhythm because the guys they're super engaged. There's a lot of tension in their bodies and minds, and then they're off, and their body relaxes and their mind relaxes, and then they got to do it again, and then it's not a great rhythm, both physically or mentally for the guys. So we're trying to find the right rhythm for our group to keep guys locked in and engaged. I think my hope again is that it gets easier as we continue to expand our depth, so that we can try to get good rotations of minutes and keep guys as fresh as possible. At the same time, push for the best possible results, where we have 2 guys in every position, or we have at least 3 guys that we really like over 2 positions, things like that where we can keep our level as high as possible down the stretch and as we approach the playoffs, but also give the guys the appropriate recovery time so that we're not crushing guys down the stretch. So that's the balance that we're working towards. As guys get healthier, that gets a little bit clearer, but we're still in that process a little bit of getting there, finding that right balance.
All right, thanks.
Yep.
Thanks, Damian. We'll go with Josh Gassman. Josh, go ahead.
Hey, Greg, thanks for talking to us as always. To follow up on Damian's question, just the first one, I would imagine that Joveljic will also be available for Saturday. He got his work visa settled.
Yeah, Joveljic should be ready. Niko should be ready once he gets out of the quarantine protocol, but his fitness level is good. He's been in preseason. He's played some minutes in preseason over there, and so his availability should be clear by Saturday, and so they'll get added into our options for sure.
And then the other one was, I think, Ethan Zubak, who was out with an illness. Is he back and in with you, training with you guys?
He will be back in tomorrow. He was just doing some final prep work to return today, and so he'll be back into the group tomorrow for training. And whether we take him or not, we'll see how he's feeling as he gets back in tomorrow.
Perfect. Looking at Minnesota, this is a team who has lost just once in their last 13 games, only lost once at home. Seems like going on the road there is a difficult situation. What do you see from them, and how do you think your chances are for this Saturday?
Yeah, again, I see, they're a good team, an experienced team. They have a lot of experience over the field in pretty much every single position. They've got playmakers and goal scorers and runners in the attack. Both of their fullbacks are competent and have quality in terms of joining into their attacks and providing those overloads. They've got they're a combative group through the midfield for sure. You look at the guys that they have in their midfield, and they're going to challenge and compete, and they're going to tackle, and they're going to fight. And so I think, over the course of the season, they struggled a little bit early in the season, and I think that maybe put a little chip on their shoulder. And in addition to them, getting better and getting healthier and all of those things that come with their group, because they have a very good roster, they've found their rhythm a little bit more. And so At home, they're a tough team to beat. You see that, and they've been on a good, confident run. And I think a lot of that is with the quality of their attacking players. They get chances, they take their chances, and they're a stingy, combative team defensively. They don't give away things. They're pretty mature about how they go about things. You have to beat them, and I say that a lot about a lot of the teams that are at the top of the table in the league, or teams that are doing well. And you see that with these mature teams, with guys who have multiple years under their belt. They just don't give away games. They don't make silly mistakes, and that forces the the opposition, us on the weekend, to have to execute in order to beat them, but also to not make silly mistakes, and not to give away goals in situations where we shouldn't. And so, look, I like the fact that we have a difficult opponent. This is a team that is going to make the playoffs, I believe. It's a team that, we may see somewhere down the road in a really important game, maybe there, maybe here, we don't know, but it's good to get this experience. I like our chances. I like the way our team is coming together. We'll have the opportunity, ideally, to get a couple of new faces maybe out there to get them sort of into the mix and into the flow of the group. And we'll also have the opportunity to get some guys some minutes together who maybe are just starting to develop relationships on the field. And so this is a good opportunity for us. It is the first game of 3 and 6, and it is on the road. So we are, we're trying to be also smart about how we approach the game and giving ourselves a chance to set up ourselves to take some points from this game without in a smart way. Let's just put it that way, and understanding it's the first of 3 and the next 2 are at home.
Thanks, Greg.
Thanks, Josh. We'll go with Larry next. Larry, go ahead.
Oh, it was me. Okay, sorry. Thanks, Greg, for taking our questions. 2-part question. One, can you talk about Niko and some of the strengths he brings to this team? And 2, I guess this is the second time in less than 2 weeks you have this real compact schedule, very narrow time element. Ever ask yourself, what did we do to deserve this? Is somebody in the league office mad at us?
Yeah, I mean, I think unfortunately this year what happened to us was COVID last year, and also because we got off to a late start to this season. Everybody wanted to get 34 games into our schedule, but we also, the challenges that we had, the international window from last year, and those games that didn't get played, some of those get pushed into this year. So you have a really busy international schedule this year, and we don't really want to play games during the international windows because we want our international players with us. So then we're trying to put as many of our matches outside of those windows as possible, and you get a very constricted schedule in the end. And so our best bet right now for this year, and hopefully in future years, we don't have this congested of a schedule, but for this year we have to manage, and we got to get the best out of our entire roster. And we've got to, like I said, as we move into this next phase of the season, our guys are very well aware that we've got to utilize rotations, that everybody's got to step up and provide us with something when it's their turn to step in, and that we've got to manage the second half of the season and still take points. But we want to, we want to be as whole as possible down the stretch, and when we move into the playoffs, and we've got to take that approach as we work through these difficult periods and stretches. As far as Niko, again, I think he's a great. I'll start just at this physical profile. 6'1", tall, lean, a runner, very comfortable on the ball. Very much understands the position of left back and a 4. He also played in a 3-5-2, and as a wing back in an outside position, he's comfortable in the attack. Good, solid defensively, but he gives us a little bit of a different look than, say, Jorge sometimes. Jorge is a crafty, sort of positional player now who plays us off the line. He's not really getting in-line to end-line as often as maybe he did 3-4 years ago even. Niko gives us a little bit different look because he can get in-line to end-line from time to time, which gives us a different look. And as I said, we need 2 guys to be able to step up in these positions, especially these fullback positions where we ask a lot of them in the attack and to have to recover defensively. So he gives us some balance there. He gives us a chance also for us to not crush Jorge physically, which he had a lot of minutes in the first half of the season, and it gives us some balance there, but also gives us some options. And so he brings a little bit different playing profile to the role. than say Jorge does, which is nice. It gives us options, as we said. And on the other side, we have Julian, who gives us that inline to end line sort of play. And if we need to, we have Fish, who gives us kind of that veteran sort of craftiness that kind of plays off the line too. So we have each of those profiles in both of our fullback positions now.
Okay. Thanks, Greg.
You got it.
Thanks, Larry. We'll go with John Rojas. John, go ahead.
Thanks, Vicky. Greg, thanks for the time. Regarding Javier, you were explaining he's still on his coming back to play. And that doesn't give you any certainty. You go basically day by day and see how he reacts and all that. There has been any kind of conversations with him, probably maybe with the league, of the, I'm going to call it inconvenience, to have him on the MLS Star. And not only that, but, the whole festivities and the skill challenge and all that.
Yeah, it's for sure ongoing. It's a discussion, dialogue on how this will work. But anytime a player is injured, if they're injured, then they don't have to participate in those, and they're not expected to participate in those types of skills challenges, or even the game for that matter. Especially if they're coming off of injury, obviously the priority is in that. So we will see as Javier progresses where he is when that timeline hits us. I know it's coming pretty quickly. So ongoing discussions both with Javier, with the league, within our medical department, and all of us at the club will be continuous as we get closer to that deadline. But it's for sure something that we're all thinking about as we finally get him back into the mix here, hopefully very soon. We don't want to put him at risk again in a situation that doesn't make sense for anybody.
Thank you, John. We'll go with Gio Garcia. Gio, go ahead.
Hey, Greg. Great to see you. I just wanted to add a little bit onto John's question. We know, we know Chicharito has been such a vocal leader for you guys. Will he be traveling to Minnesota? And also, how have you seen him lead with him not being on the field?
Yeah, will he travel? Will be only dependent on if he provides us with value essentially on the field, because him staying back, coming off of a muscle injury, we wouldn't want him on a plane flying there and flying back. If he's not able to help us on the field, he'll stay and continue his progression to be able to quickly get back on the field to help us out. In terms of his leadership, I mean, Javi is one of the standard holders in our team. He holds himself and others to a high standard, and so if he's not able to be on the field, he's certainly observant, and he's certainly watching the games. He's there with the group in the locker room before the game, after the game, providing some feedback, whether that's to individual players, sharing just collective thoughts as he did in the last game, post game. And so his presence is there. He's a communicator for sure, not short on words, which he knows and we know, and so he's going to share his thoughts, and they're welcome, because again, he's one of the guys in our group that has been at a high level, really high level, and he likes to hold the group to the highest possible standard on that way as well. And so he's continued to do that while he's here, but he's also, during our training sessions and things like that, we've got him focused on his return and getting himself physically ready and mentally ready to get back into the group to help us.
We have one last one with Chris Maldonado. Chris, go ahead.
Coach, thanks for taking the time.
Yep.
When it comes to Dejan, a lot of questions regarding where exactly on the field he's going to play. Obviously, he's an attacker, but what position exactly is he going to play on the field? And can we safely assume that he'll be a starter for this Galaxy team?
He's a forward, so he'll play forward. He won't be in midfield, and he won't be on the wings. He'll be a forward, and so. The question and where we'll see this is he going to be at number 9 by himself? Is he going to work together with Javier at times? As the beginning of this whole conversation today, we talked a lot about how many games we have and the proximity of those games, and being able to have 2 guys who can hold our team at a high level. And so sometimes the 2 of them, when they're both healthy and we'll play together. We're comfortable with that, and we've done that at times during the course of the season. But this time we'll have two really out and out strikers that are used to playing in pairs as well. And sometimes we'll be able to give each of them sort of a break and a way to split up a game and keep our momentum and presence from the attacking side against an opposition, sometimes with one forward. So he'll be a starter sometimes, and he'll be coming off the bench sometimes, just like everybody else in this second half of the season as we get down the stretch. And then once we determine exactly what our best way of winning playoff games is going to be, then we'll have our set team ready to go for the playoffs.
Great. Thank you so much for your time.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Take care.
Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to the LA Galaxy. We will start with questions from Josh Gessman with Corner of the Galaxy. Josh, go ahead.
Hey, Niko. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for taking the time. I know that you spent a little bit of time in MLS a couple of years ago. I wonder what that experience was like and maybe how you see your new experience here with the LA Galaxy and maybe what has changed for you in the couple of years.
I think I was kind of surprised by me coming to the MLS last time with LAFC about how good the level of all the players and stuff was. And I mean, so far what I've seen, obviously I've been training individually, but so far what I've been seeing is, like, again, good players and high quality, and I'm happy to be here.
And what exactly, Greg talked a little bit about your ability to play that left back role and sort of the need to have depth there. But what do you see as your strengths as a left back?
For me personally, obviously I can defend. That's my main job. But I think for me going forward, that's just another benefit of me. I can get forward and get back, and quite naturally, when I was younger, I was playing as a winger or a number 10, so I'm quite comfortable going forward and being in tight spaces and stuff like that. So, yeah.
Perfect. Thanks, Niko.
No problem.
Thank you, Josh. We'll go with Larry Morgan. Larry, go ahead.
Hi, Niko. Thanks for speaking with us. I guess the first question is, when did you first become aware that the Galaxy were interested in you? And second, were you, I guess, in some ways hoping for a return to MLS, or is that something that you thought, probably won't happen again?
It actually happened quite quick. Last week, really. I had I was training with QPR, and my agent called me a couple of times after training, and I called him back, and he just said, LA Galaxy are interested in taking you on loan. And I was like, obviously coming back to LA and stuff like that. Obviously didn't really think about it at the time, but circumstances happened, and obviously happy to be here.
Last time that you were at MLS, you were wearing the jersey of Los Angeles FC, and now you're going to be wearing the kit of the arch rival team across town. How unusual is that going to be?
I was actually made aware of it. One of my friends sent me something on Twitter about it, and I didn't know anything about it before, but obviously now I know, and I'm expecting to be booed a little bit, but nah, that's football. It happens, so just have to get on with it.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
Thank you, Larry. We'll go with Damian Calhoun. Damian, go ahead.
Hey, Niko. You were talking there, like you said, when you got the call from your agent. After the first initial call, how much time do you have? Much time to even process it all, or how much time after that call are you on the plane headed over here?
Kind of a couple of days. I had kind of had a day or so to kind of process it, and then kind of just after that, just kind of went with the flow. Spoke with Greg, and just went from there.
And since the last time you were here, how has your game progressed since the last time you were at MLS?
I think for me, coming off last season, I think last season was kind of my quote-unquote breakthrough season professionally. Gained a lot of experience, obviously, playing in the championship, and then obviously breaking through with the Finland national team, playing Nations League games and qualifiers for the World Cup and stuff like that, and being involved in the Euros. I think all that type of experience, I think, just brought me to kind of like a next level in my game.
And one more, can you explain how, I guess, tough or just how wild is playing in the championship? Because that season is like almost 40 games a season?
Yeah,
is that
40 plus.
40 plus.
40 plus. Yeah, it's a lot of, obviously we're fit guys, but at the end of the day, like playing every single game is going to be a tough game. There's not really like a team in the championship where you think like, even if they're lower in the table or mid-table, higher up in the table, every game's going to be hard, especially physically. So it's very, very physically demanding.
Thank you.
Thanks, Damien. We'll have one last one with Gio Garcia. Gio, go ahead.
Hey, Niko, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
So I wanted to ask a little bit more about the rivalry between obviously LAFC and LA Galaxy. I know you said you're expecting to be booed, but do you still have friends on the other side that you've spoken with? Obviously, I know you spent some time with LAFC, but have you spoken with them, or it has no conversation with them?
Yeah, I've spoken to a couple of them, but not really in depth about obviously the rivalry or anything. Just kind of just like how are you doing type stuff. How do you think like me coming to MLS, like all that type of little talk, not really about the rivalry.
Thank you.
Thanks, Gio. Niko, thank you so much for your time. We look forward to seeing you on the field.
No problem.
Thanks, Niko.